Okay, let's talk about the properties of logarithms. Now, if you're not familiar with what a logarithm is, this is not the video for you. I would steer you towards some of the videos I have on my Algebra 2 playlist on my channel that go over the basic introduction of logarithms. Okay, but if you do know what a logarithm is and why we need to use them, just to have a basic sense of logarithms, you're studying this, then you need to understand the properties of logarithms, and that's what this video is going to be about. Now you can see here I actually have the properties. There's three specific properties I'm going to cover. Then I'm also going to go over into this concept of expanding and condensing. So this is going to be a quick review on this topic. But before we get into all of that, let me go ahead and quickly introduce myself. My name is John. I'm the founder of TabletClass Math. I'm also a middle and high school math teacher, and over many years, I've constructed what I like to believe is one of the best online video-based math help programs there is. So whether you need to take a full comprehensive math course or you need help with the course that you're in, okay, my program can help you. So it includes full comprehensive lessons, much more detailed than what I do on YouTube, and I solve or teach you how to solve thousands of problems. Okay, there's nothing more frustrating to students to be given a bunch of prompts and then just like, here's the answer key. Okay, well, how did you get from the problem to the solution? Well, that's why I teach you how to solve video-based, step-by-step, detailed, comprehensive explanations because that's what you really, really need uh, to be seen and modeling to really master mathematics. Now, another thing you need to be doing to master math is be taking outstanding notes. Okay, so after decades of teaching math, one rule that I've seen for sure is those students with the best math notes have the best math grades, and the reverse is true. So if your notes are sloppy, disorganized, or maybe your dog ate your notes and your homework, whatever the case is, you have to work on being a better note taker. Okay, so it's a skill. Just start, immediately as soon as you can. Start focusing on improving your note taking skills. But in the meantime, you need something to study from, and I actually offer notes. I'm going to leave a link to my notes in my math help program in the description of this video. But my notes would include pre-algebra, algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, and trigonometry. Very detailed, comprehensive notes. Excellent for studying. Okay, so let's get into these properties here. Now, again, I'm assuming you have a basic understanding of logarithms. Let's just do a quick review. Logarithms would help us solve things like this. Let's say I have the equation 2 to the x power is equal to 13. This is an exponential equation, right? So I'm like, oh, well, 2 squared is 4, so x can't be 2. 2 cubed is 8. All right, so 2 to the 4th is 16, but I'm looking for 13. 2 to the what power is 13? Well, it's none of these integer values that I'm familiar with. So how would I solve a problem like this? Well, we need logarithms. Very, very powerful, super important in mathematics. And once you have the basic concepts of logarithms down, you need to master the properties of logarithms and be very skilled at expanding and condensing. So I'm going to highlight on those things here now. Okay, so again, this is just a quick tutorial review. You really do need to get into this in more detail or practice this stuff for sure. But let's get into our first rule. Okay, so again, I have three properties up there, and here is our first. Okay, log of x times y is equal to log x plus log y. This is called the product rule. Very easy to understand. Okay, these properties are actually very easy. So what it says is, if you are taking the logarithm of a product, like x times y, and this could be like x times y times z times how many, it doesn't make a difference, right? I'm just showing you two things here being multiplied together, but we could separate products by a addition operator, okay? So let's take a look at an example. Let's say I have log of x plus 1, okay, that's one thing, being multiplied by y squared, right? So it's this thing being multiplied by this thing. I could separate this or rewrite this using the product rule, okay, of logarithms. So it would be log x plus 1 plus, right, that's this part of it. And I'm just separating the products here, the factors, by a plus sign, plus log y squared. Now, I can do more with this expression, but we'll hold off on that for a second. Just know that you can separate the factors of a product with an addition symbol. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's get to this next property, and it's called the quotient rule because we're talking about division. So the log of x divided by y, okay, I can separate the numerator and denominator by a subtraction or difference operator, okay? Now remember here, this is very, very important. This is the numerator. The numerator comes first and the denominator is second. Okay, so do not put the denominator first subtracted by the numerator. It's always the numerator first, and then we're going to subtract and then write the denominator. Okay, very straightforward stuff here. Let's take a look at this example problem. So we have log x squared plus 1 divided by y. Okay, this up right here is our numerator, so I can rewrite this using um, the quotient rule, okay, this particular logarithm property. So it'd be log, here is our numerator, x plus 1, all right, and I'm subtracting from the denominator log y, okay? So very straightforward, and hopefully these are easy examples to see what's going on. It doesn't have to be harder than what it is, but where students get confused is when there is more, like bigger expressions. Okay, so we're going to start with the easier stuff here. So our last rule is the power rule. Okay, so we have three properties of logarithms. Okay, so far we covered the product, quotient, and then our last one is the power rule. So it says this: log x to the n power, okay, is equal to n times log x. So all you're doing is you're taking this little exponent and you're putting it in front of the log, okay, just like that. This comes in, all these properties come in, but this one here is a real huge one because this is what we need when we're solving exponential equations and whatnot. We really use this all the time. Okay, so here's a basic example. We have log x cubed. I can write that as, I could just take that little exponent, write it as a full value in front of the log, a coefficient. So this is 3 times log x. So log x cubed, I can rewrite that as 3 times log x. All right, so pretty straightforward. They're not difficult. And now let's talk about this concept of expanding and condensing. These are real basic examples. Again, you're going to have to practice this, and I'm not even talking about natural logarithms, etc. But again, the whole purpose of this video is just to get you familiar with these concepts. So expanding a logarithmic expression, means that we want to take an expression, here's an example like this, okay, and we want to expand it, right? So we want to write it all out, stretch it out, if you will. Just what the word says, expand, okay? So what we're going to do is apply all the properties of logarithms that we can, okay? So let's just take a look at what's going on here. First of all, I have log x squared times y. Well, I have a product, okay, x squared times y, and I also have a power. So I can use multiple properties of logarithms, but we're going to have to just take it one step at a time, okay? So the whole deal is we want to use the properties of logarithms either to expand or condense, and I'll get to condensing here in a second. All right, so we have a product x squared times y, so this is log x squared times y. Let's separate the x squared and y by an addition side, so I can write this as log x squared plus log y, okay? Pretty straightforward. This is the product rule in action, okay? Now, when I'm done doing this, I'm saying, well, can I use any more properties of logarithms? I'm like, yeah, I can use that power rule because I have this little exponent up here. So I can take that 2 and drop it down in front of the log. So now I have 2 log x plus log y. Now, this is a fully expanded expression. So this guy here is equivalent to this guy right here, okay? And we went from here to here by expanding this expression, okay? So if you're given a problem, it says expand, use the property of logarithms to expand the expression or rewrite the expression, you're going to end up with something longer and more detailed, okay? So that's an example of expanding. Now, if we do the reverse, we go from here and we go back to here, we get this concept of condensing. It's doing the exact reverse, okay? So sometimes you'll be given this, and we want to get back to here. That would be a problem that involves condensing, or we're given this, and we want to get to there. That would be expanding, all right? But we're going to be using the same properties. We just have to think about them a little bit differently. So here, let's go ahead and condense. This is the exact same problem, but from studying it, if I'm like, I'll say, okay, condense this logarithmic expression using the property of logarithms. So I'm like, okay, what can I do here? I have a 2 in front of this log x, so you really have to just kind of be thinking in reverse. I'm like, okay, this number here, I know that came, this was once the exponent to this variable. So let's go ahead and just put this 2 back up here. So that would give us log x squared, okay, plus log y. Okay, we're just going to do one property at a time. Now, once I've done that, I know I have an addition operator here, meaning that this was a product at one time, right? Because these guys here were, we can write as a product, x squared times y. So when I do that, this is log x squared times y, okay? So this is obviously what we were doing in our previous little problem here. So what we did was condense. All right, condensing is to kind of squish back together when you condense steam right back into water. You know, you guys know your basic science. That's what a word condense, to kind of squeeze back in and put it back in its original form. So we're taking this expression and we're condensing it back into its original logarithmic expression. So condensing and expanding, you're just basically thinking in reverse, but the main idea is you need to know these properties, okay? So again, we have the product rule, the quotient rule, and the power rule, okay? And again, here are the basic rules, you know, as they stand, log x, y. But again, remember, this can be multiple things being multiplied, and we can have very complicated fractions and powers, etc. So, you know, watching this video is not going to be enough. This is just a quick review, a quick introduction to the properties of logarithms. You really have to practice this because it can be confusing, but it's absolutely necessary, okay, in your study of logarithms. And if you're at this level of math where you're studying logarithms, well, you know, you got to know this stuff. There's just no way around it. But you can definitely learn this, and hopefully this video is a good start for you. And if you benefited from this video, please consider smashing that like button. I would certainly appreciate that. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing. Been on YouTube for 10 plus years at the time of this video, and I have hundreds and hundreds of videos already organized in various playlists there for you. Okay, so if you like my teaching style, I have a lot of material there that can help you out. But if you really want my best stuff, follow those links in the description of this video. But with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.